Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. My name is Sisi Yemmie, and today I'm going to be talking about choosing the right hospital to have your baby. When I had my first baby, the experience was not palatable. In fact, if you've been following me for a while, you know the story. If you don't know the story, I'm going to put the link in the description box. I'll put it somewhere on the screen where you can tap and find it, but don't click out here. It's like I called you for this particular video, so after you watch this video you go to that one. So I'm going to be sharing with you the tips I used. I was very anxious, very nervous, very stressed out thinking about what hospital I was going to have this baby in, and it kept me up so many times. I was awake so many nights stressing my husband. Oh gosh, what kind of hospital am I going to use? What if the hospital is this? What if it is that? And I'm so happy that finally the hospital I chose was the right one. If you want to know my tips, keep watching. Click the like button if you want more of this kind of videos. I really just want to put out all my pregnancy baby content out before I move on to so many other topics. So if you like this kind of videos, click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you have comments, please leave it in the comment section. I like to interact with you guys there, so leave me comments. I want to know about your experience as well and any tips you might have. Where should I start from? I don't even know where I should start from. Okay, I'm going to start from my antenatal. So when I found out I was pregnant, I think I was maybe about 3 months pregnant already, and I was like, okay, I need to choose a hospital, and the hospital you use for your antenatal is where you have to have your baby. But no, that's not the case. You don't have to have your baby where you had your antenatal. So I took so long in registering for antenatal. I think I registered in my maybe 5th month. That was when I registered for antenatal, and I chose one hospital that was recommended in where was it? I think in Ikoyi. Yes, the hospital was in Ikoyi. So I was going there for my antenatal and all that. While I was going to the hospital, I'm like, okay, if this is the hospital I'm going to have my baby, I need to do a tour of their facilities. So I told the doctor, can I have a tour? I know I want to go for a C-section. Can I see your what they call it, is this surgical room, your theater? Can I see your theater? Let me see what you people use and everything. So the room I'm going to stay in. So I went around on a tour of the hospital. Truth be told, on the tour I wasn't comfortable because he took us to a room and he was like, okay, for this particular room, let's say I'm just using approximate prices. I'm not saying this was the cost. Let's say, oh, for this low budget room, you're going to pay 400k. The room was very tiny, no toilets inside. You share toilets outside. Okay. You are going to, if you pay maybe something higher, you get the next room that has a toilet inside. But then I wanted to see like the ogak patakpata room, like where's the master suite, the special room. And he took me to their most special room, and he had a kitchenette and a toilet and everything. But you guys, it was it was not it at all. I was like, my room or my house is way better than this. I might as well give birth to my house. What are you talking about? Is this your best room? This is your best room for that price that you are calling? Why? I could see like a bit of mold. It was dirty. I think a rat died inside. They had not cleaned it up. The bed was not made. I was like, if you knew people were coming for a tour, you should have at least fixed so many things. The bathroom was a mess. It was brown, dirty. I was just like, wow. But he was telling me, oh, don't worry, this is going to be cleaned up before you come. It will be good as new, and we're going to get an electrician to fix this. Me that I know Nigerians, they will tell you story until you pay and you reach there, and that's whatever you see is what you get, and by then it's too late. So I was like, really? So you're going to fix this? The bed is going to be fixed, this floor that I can see, the paint on the wall that is peeling, you're going to do all that before I have my baby? When you enter the hospital, when you enter the reception, it's so pretty, but when you enter like theater, the rooms, the wards, it was nothing to write home about. And the hospital, I noticed it was a bit scanty. Anytime I come, I didn't used to go on the antenatal days because I just didn't want a lot of people to see me, really. And by then I had not announced my pregnancy. I didn't want a lot of people to see me. I didn't want people to say, oh, Sisi Yemmie is having a baby in this hospital. Like, I didn't want any of that. So I used to go on days where that was not the antenatal day, basically. And they would tell me, oh, you should come on the antenatal day, but I specifically chose not to go on the antenatal days. So I went on the regular days, did my checkup and all of that. We would gist with the doctor. Yemmie, my husband, used to come with me, and Yemmie is a very good he's a communicator, I'll call it. So they would gist about medicine, surgery, so many things, and they would gist about all these things. But I don't know if it's that we got too familiar with the doctor, because the more they gisted, the more information I was getting. So he was a very nice man, very jovial and everything. But there was one day, I think for me, that was the day I made the decision. There was one day we went for checkup and he was gisting. I was asking, why is it that some hospitals are so expensive, and why is it that there are some hospitals, because someone was telling me that she did her C-section for maybe 50,000 naira, and I was like, for 50,000 naira, like, where did you do that kind of C-section? Because all the places I knew, it was from 500,000 naira and above for the C-sections. And this hospital was way above the 500,000. So I was like, why can some hospitals do it for 50k and some are doing it above 500k? Why? Just tell me why. So he was like, no, it depends on what they use, that he knows some anesthetics that you can get that are so cheap that while the woman is having the C-section, she can maybe be feeling the pain small low, but not so much. And he was telling us about a story where when he was talking, my eyes were just going wide and wide, where he had an anesthetician. Is that what they call it? The person that does the anesthetic, the person used like poor quality anesthetics, and so the patient was feeling all the pain while they were doing the C-section. I was like, how did that anesthetician enter your hospital? So he said sometimes they contract out these anestheticians, so it's not an anesthetic of the hospital, you have to hire them. I'm like, so how are you going to make sure they use the right anesthetics? It's like some of them they just have the fear of God. Some of them use the right one. Well, me, I know the right one to use. And so as it was talking in my head, I was like, oh my goodness, I don't want this to be my fate, where they'll be using me for tubu mesam. So in my mind, I just said, I don't think I can have my baby in this hospital. I just crossed my mind that day. So I came back again with my mom, and I told her I like to take my mom to places like that. Like, just tell me what your spirit is telling you. So I brought her there. I didn't even give her any information like, is it good, is it bad? Just went there with an open mind. And when she came out, she was like, I don't like this hospital, I don't like it. And that was it. I exed the hospital. But before that day, I exed them because I came for a checkup, one of those antenatal checkups. I'm just telling you guys these things you should observe when you go to a hospital to help you make your decision. When you go there, open your eyes and be looking at what's going on. So I was meant to get drugs from the pharmacist, and I went there. So just as I was stepping to her door, she was about to leave. So I could see from the outside she was packing her bags and getting ready. So as she walked in, she saw me standing. This hospital is not a busy hospital, you guys. I was like the only patient standing there with my big belly. And she locked the door and was walking away. So I'm like, excuse me, auntie, what's going on? I'm standing here. I looked at the time. It was about to 5. So I was like, if she closed, maybe she closed 4:30, but if she closed by 5, then she's closing too early. So I'm like, are you leaving? She said, yes, she's leaving. I'm like, but I'm standing here. You won't ask me what I want. You won't ask me what I'm looking for. She's like, but I've closed. I was like, wow, you have closed. Okay, so who is going to give me my medicine now? Seeing that you have closed. She just did her face one kind, like she wanted to hiss but didn't hiss. She just did her face one kind. I even think that girl has a problem, first of all, because I experienced her another day. She did her face one kind and she went back inside, gave me the drugs and left. So I was like, okay, I'm counting. 1. So the second time I came, another time I came and I experienced her, I walked into the hospital and I think she and another nurse were quarreling with the doctor. I don't know what the problem was. I was not there before the quarrel. Just the fact that they were quarreling in the lobby, that's like the reception area where your patients are sitting, they were arguing, speaking pidgin, like quarreling, and she was really upset. And the doctor was like way older than her. Like I could see she was way older than he was way older than her. So I'm like, what is going on? How are you able to talk to your doctor like this? And I told Yemmie, I'm like, this is the kind of nurse and pharmacist that they will say bring injection for the patient, and they will first of all squeeze face and bring the wrong injection. I'm not doing it again, I'm going. So I made up my mind, I can't have my baby in this hospital. Meanwhile, a lot of people were recommending, oh, this hospital, have your baby there, fantastic, blah blah blah. I'm like, I don't experience them, I've seen what they can do. I'm not having my baby there. Those were the things that made me change my mind, because I changed my mind when I was already 9 months pregnant. So I had my baby in February, and I chose the hospital I was going to have the baby, I think, in February as well. So I was still dilly-dallying. After seeing that their behavior, I was like, oh God, what's going to happen now? Where am I going to have this baby? I can't be 9 months pregnant and not have a hospital. So when it has reached here, I've been praying, but on this particular day, I was like, God, what I needed was somebody to tell me this is a very good hospital, somebody that I trust. And I was just praying, God, please show me the hospital. Just show me, give me revelation, somehow link me to this hospital. So a few days later, I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw Yewande's post. I mentioned Yewande in another vlog. She also used to make YouTube videos, and she's on Instagram as an influencer, beauty influencer. So she posted that she had a baby. She was supposed to have a baby abroad, but due to some complications, she had to have the baby like emergency C-section in Lagos. And she mentioned the hospital she had the baby, and she thanked them so much for their service. I was like, this is exactly what I was looking for. Testimony. I was looking for a testimony. So I commented on that video, on that post that she made, but she did not know what she did for me, because it was me that knew what she did for me. I rushed quickly to the hospital. I went there. I've never heard of this hospital before. I went there. Immediately I got there, I met my former roommate when I was in Birmingham, and it was like old times. We're just gisting, what are you doing here? Oh, you're pregnant. Oh, you too, you've had a baby and everything. And I was gisting with my old my roommate in Birmingham. It was so nice. And then the next thing, another person walks out, and this person was my classmate in university, not in Birmingham, but in Igbenedion. I went to Igbenedion. So this was one of my schoolmates in Igbenedion, and we all just got chatting, and it was such a very, I don't know, the vibe was very nice. So I just kind of felt at home after seeing those ladies. I kind of felt, if these people can be using this hospital, then this hospital must be good. And then I trust Yewande's recommendations so much. So when she said the hospital was good, I was like, if Yewande says something is good, then it's good. She used to be called She Loves the Finer Things, so she does love finer things. So I was like, if she recommends this hospital, Yemmie, just go there. This is the prayer that has been answered. Just go to the hospital. So I went to the hospital. I registered at the hospital. Coincidentally, a lady called me. I'm not going to mention her name. A lady called me, and she was asking me for information about something. We just got chatting, and she was asking me about the hospital I was going to have my baby. And I told her, okay, I'm considering these ones. I've gone to this one that Yewande recommended. And she was like, oh, if you're going to that one, I can actually get you like a discount there. You guys, that's how I got discount too. I was just sitting on my own, and discount came to meet me. So the normal price people were paying for the C-sections was not what I paid at the hospital. And when I got there, they treated me nice. You guys saw my delivery and everything. While the doctor was doing the surgery, they were playing music. When I entered to have my C-section, they were playing Teniolas, Yemmie, like everybody was, they were chillaxing really. Like it was such a nice vibe. It was not tense. The doctor, I only had I think 1 appointment or 2 appointments with him, and he just put my mind at rest. He was like, what are you most worried about? I'm like, I'm worried that I will sleep and not wake up during the C-section. He's like, nothing like that. He's like, we do so many C-sections in a day, so it's not a problem. By the time he finished talking, I went online to Google him. I saw information about him. I saw some videos they've done, some campaigns they've done. I was like, wow, this is actually very, very impressive. And it just put my mind at rest. And when I entered, I did a tour of their rooms. It was very, very comfortable. So many people were coming in and out of the hospital. You could tell it was a really nice hospital because of the kind of people I was seeing there, basically, Sha. So you guys, that is how I chose that hospital. I didn't even tell the doctor I wasn't coming back. Like, we were just discussing, oh, come back next week for your next antenatal appointment, and I jackpot. Like, from there, I don't even give them warning, nothing. I just did not show up for my next antenatal appointment. And do you guys realize they did not ever call me? That's how bad their customer service was. If your patient that is meant to give birth in a few weeks has not been coming for antenatal, and you have registered her that she's going to have her baby in your hospital, not even a phone call, madam, are you okay? Is the pregnancy progressing? Nothing like that. That's just to show you how bad it is. Meanwhile, this new hospital, immediately I registered, the next day they were calling me, madam, your appointment is tomorrow, come back tomorrow to come and collect so and so. Okay, I'm running late. Madam, you were meant to be here by 5 o'clock, the time is 5:30, where are you? Like, they were checking up on me. Like, that was the first hospital that would be calling me. So I was very, very happy with their customer service, their customer relations. It was on point. On the day I was meant to have the baby, the day before, I mean. So when I was meant to go to the hospital, they're like, come to the hospital before 6 p.m. Make sure you don't eat. They called me in the morning. Remember, you're coming to the hospital today. I remember you're not supposed to eat after a particular time. I'm like, okay. I was running late. They called me. Of course, Yemmie was running late. Of course. Madam, where are you? Are you still coming today? The doctor is expecting you. And it just kind of made me feel like, you care about me. You care about your patients. It was really, really nice. Right now, I'm going to share with you the tips that you can use to choose a good hospital if you are worried, because I've gotten a lot of DMs saying, Sisi, Yemmie, what hospital did you use? How did you choose a hospital? The first thing you should consider when you are looking for a hospital is the reputation of the hospital. I got a lot of recommendations from the most expensive hospital in Lagos to like affordable hospitals, and I was going online to check. I was going online to check their reputation, and there were some posts on maybe places like Nigerian saying, my sister went here, this was her experience at this hospital, is horrible, don't go. I'm like, my chest, this was the hospital I really wanted. So I go to the next one and I see so many bad reviews online. Thank God for reviews. And I was like, how am I going to make this decision? I think the reviews even made it so hard, because all the hospitals I had on my list, I had to cross them out. And this hospital that I use, I had never ever heard about them before, never. And that was my first time even noticing they were in that place in Lagos. I'm going to put the name of the hospital in my description box so you can check it out if you want to. Another way of knowing the right hospital is ask for people that have had their experience there, people that maybe you know, not just random people, because I noticed it's like Nigerians, sometimes they like people to suffer the same sufferness that they did. So ask for personal reviews, not just maybe general reviews online. Ask for personal reviews. I could have given a personal review of the hospital that I used the first time, but you guys know the work that I do. I can't come and mention names here, so that is why I cannot mention their name. The third thing I will ask you to consider is you need to speak to this doctor, not just one time, not just 2 times. Like, speak to them, get to know them better. The first hospital I used, anytime I would ask the doctors question, they acted like I was irritating them, like my questions were too much. Like, madam, why do you want to know what kind of anesthetics we use? Madam, why do you want to know? Just their bedside manner will tell you how the hospital is. There are some hospitals, the nurses are so rude, the doctors don't have your time. I don't think that's the kind of hospital I want to have my baby. Like, I want to feel very, very comfortable. So that's one thing to look out for. Have a conversation with your doctor and ask them what kind of services they offer. If you're not sure about the questions to ask your doctor, I'll tell you. Ask them how they do their procedures. Let's say if you're going for a Csection like me, I ask them, how do you do your procedures? Will I be awake during the procedure? Will I be sleeping? How many nurses will I have? How long will I need to stay in the hospital? What kind of food will you give me? Will you give me food at all, or I have to bring my own food? What equipment do you guys have? If you are having, let's say, a vaginal delivery, do you have this? Do you have that? I guess they need so many things to make the birthing process easy. If it's a C-section, Like, you ask so many things related to C-sections. Go online, Google questions that you can ask, or things that bother you, anything that is bothering you about whatever you're about to do. Ask the doctor and listen to their answers. Another tip is to do a hospital tour. If I'm going to be spending money in this hospital, let me see what your toilet looks like, your bedroom looks like, your theater looks like. Some of them might not show you their theaters, but all the hospitals I went to, they showed me their theaters and they took me on a tour. There was one I went to that was very highly recommended, but when I went to that hospital, I'm like, if you don't get disease before you come to this hospital, you go catch them for here, because they had a lot of equipment that if you were not sick, they will find sickness in your body just somehow, because it was too pristine, it was too surgical for my liking. There was no homey feeling, it was so cold. So have a tour of the facilities and see if you like it before making a commitment. Another tip is to look at the quality of the doctors, the staff, the nurses, even from the gate man. Just look at how they treat people, because they can tell you a lot about the hospital. If the customer service is trash, my friend, you need to reconsider. Like, I can't go to somewhere where they are rude and go and commit my life to them and ask them to open me up. I know the kind of procedure I'm going for. I don't want somebody to use me for tubu. I don't want newcomer to test on me. Know the doctor you are using. Research them. Look, what school did you graduate from? How long have you been doing this thing? How often in a day do you have a surgery? Like, some of them have surgeries like 10 times a day, 5 times a day, once a day. You need to have this information so that your mind will be at ease. For the first hospital, I noticed that I was in pain for like weeks and weeks and weeks. And for this one, by like the third day, my babe was ready to I was ready to go home, and I think I went home on the second day. So the pain management for different hospitals, they differ. Another thing you also have to consider is your budget. There are so many hospitals in Lagos, and wherever we are, there are hospitals everywhere. So look for the one that you can afford, that your money can cover, and then do all these other tips that I'm sharing with you, and I'm sure you're going to get a good hospital. The best hospitals don't have to be the most expensive. The cheapest hospital might be the best hospital. Like, hospitals is not by cost. There are some hospitals in Lagos that are just hotels, basically fancy and everything, but when it comes to the nitty-gritty, to the work, they're not savvy. So these are the tips I used when I was choosing my hospital. I hope this comes in handy for somebody, because I was getting a lot of questions to say, how did you choose your hospital, or what hospital did you use? These are the tips I used when I was choosing my hospital. Personal recommendation, touring the facilities, talking to the doctor, like have a conversation about your health plan or your birth plan, really, because there are some hospitals you go to, they will tell you they can't give you ibuprofen, or they'll tell you they can't do, what's this thing? Epidural. Some will say they don't do epidural. In the first hospital, I was asking, do you do epidural? They're like, they don't do epidural. They don't do epidural. And the woman was strong in her face. And I was like, so epidural is actually something that they do in other hospitals, but this particular hospital, they don't do it. So you just suffer yourself for nothing. So you need to talk to the doctors about your health plan, what you want done, and how you'll be comfortable. Check your budget. Tour their facilities. Like, it should be free to tour. They should not be hiding anything from you. After all, it's a hospital. And I hope you make the best decision. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.